Welcome back to Wisdom Unveiled for another deep dive. Just a quick note before we begin. This is a translation of Conversations with Iranian Philosophers, specifically Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani. Some details might not be fully captured in translation, so we do apologize for any potential discrepancies. Okay, so today we're picking up where we left off, continuing our journey into the, well, truly profound world of Hafez Shirazi. We're drawing again from those fantastic Mahfad audio files he shared with us, The Learner, featuring Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani. And our mission today is really to unpack a key idea that came up before this fascinating concept Hafez uses, the heart as the cup of Jamshid, the whole Dalachia. So we're not looking at a completely new ghazal this time, but really drilling down into this idea of the heart, its potential, and what Hafez thinks we need to do about it.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yes, this image of the heart, the Del, as the Jami Jahan-Nama, the world-reflecting cup. It's really central. Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani really illuminated how it's like a core part of understanding Hafez's mystical perspective. It gives us, the learner, a great way in.
Right. So this cup of Jamshid, okay, refresh our memory.
Mm.
It's not just some legendary goblet, is it? It's a metaphor.
Exactly. According to Hafez, and as explored by Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani, the heart is like this incredible mirror. It has the potential, the capacity to reflect the entire universe.
Well, there's a condition, right? It's not automatic.
Precisely. Think of it like, a perfectly clean, polished mirror. It reflects perfectly. But if it's covered in dust, grime...
The reflection gets distorted.
Yeah.
Or blocked entirely.
Exactly. So the heart needs to be pure, cleansed of impurities. Only then can it mirror everything. And the amazing thing is, this potential is supposedly within all of us.
Which brings us neatly to this idea of service to the cup of Jamshid, Khidmat-e Jahan-Nama. Service sounds active, but it's an inner service, isn't it?
It is. It's about tending to that inner mirror, the heart. It's the active work of purifying it. Zududani Kodratayedel, removing the darkness, the clouds, the Kodarat.
And Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani gave us a pretty extensive list of what these impurities, these kodarat, actually are.
They did. Sins ma'asi, worldly desires, shahava, anger, gazaba, deception or trixileia, hypocrisy, riyah.
Basically anything anti-human, zed, and sinist. That covers a lot of ground, like a spiritual deep clean.
A very deep clean. And they broke it down further, which is helpful. They mentioned wrathful and lustful matters, omori gazabi va omori shahavi, or just broadly unethical things, omori zid akhlaki.
These are the things that cloud the mirror.
Precisely. They block our inner vision. So removing them, zudane kodathayadil, that is the essence of serving the cup of Jamshid.
Okay, so you do this inner work, this service.
Mm-hmm.
What happens then? Hafez has that line, Zamokta malakutash hejab bardand. From the earthly realm to its heavenly realm, veils will be lifted.
Yes, a very significant line. And there was some discussion, as you recall, between Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani about exactly how to interpret that lifting of veils.
Right, two possibilities.
Yes. One reading is that the veils are lifted up to the heavenly realm, the malakut, meaning the malakut itself is clear, unveiled.
Okay, that makes sense.
But Dr. Dinani leaned towards, well, a more profound interpretation, I think. He suggested that veils exist even in the malakut.
Really? Even in the heavenly realm?
Yes. So the service, the purification, removes both earthly mulki veils and these more subtle heavenly malakuti veils.
Wow. That suggests the process is deeper, maybe continuous, than just reaching some level.
Yeah.
So who gets these veils lifted?
Hafez is clear. Har anker kedmati jami Jahan-Nama bokanad. Whoever renders service to the cup of Jamshid, it's the person, the learner, who does the work, the purification. Then the veils lift from their inner sight.
And this idea of going to the malakut, the heavenly realm, Raftambi malakut, Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani stressed this isn't about packing bags and heading off somewhere, right?
Absolutely not. It's not geographical. It's an inner shift, a spiritual transformation, moving from the outward, the zahir, to the inward, the betan.
So the malakut is what? The inner reality of this world.
Exactly, the Botnetlam, the inner dimension of the world. And they went even further, saying the afterlife, the akhrat, is the inner dimension of that realm. Batinin in aslan akhrat, batin alame. It's all layers of inwardness.
Okay, so it's like an inner landscape.
Yeah.
And just like we have different parts to ourselves, senses, imagination, intellect, this malakut isn't just one flat thing either.
Correct. Dr. Dinani explained it has levels, marateb. Lower asfal, middle osat, and higher or closer ala or atna. It kind of mirrors the levels within us, has, bam, kial akol.
Like different intensities of light, maybe?
That's a good analogy. Just as light varies, so does the illumination or reality of these inner realms.
Which brings us back to a crucial point. If you don't clear those veils, hijabi and jami jam keda ost, the veils covering this cup of jamshid, which is the heart, they don't just vanish when you arrive in the Malika, do they?
No, they don't. That's a stark warning, really. The impurities, the veils you carry here, you carry them there too. It really underlines the importance of doing the work now, in this life.
And for the veils to be lifted completely, you need total purity. Pakiye kama parate kama lendel.
Yes, complete purity of heart. And this goes beyond just, avoiding the big sins.
Right. Dr. Larijani pointed out it includes detachment from excessive love of the world, status, position, especially when they become the goal, not a means.
Exactly. It's about the why. Are these things tools for reaching truth, or are they traps? But then there's an even deeper layer.
Deeper than worldly attachments.
Yes. The idea that anything other than the truth, al-Gari haq, is itself an impurity, a veil.
Wow. So ultimately, anything that isn't God.
Harche, Gari, Kodest, Kodrata. Anything other than God is a cloudiness, a veil. That's the ultimate purification. Orienting the heart completely towards the divine, a single focus.
Which leads to that incredible statement. The heart is the abode of God. Del manzele hakast.
A truly powerful concept. Dr. Dinani brought in the Hadith Qudsi to really drive it home.
The one about neither my earth nor my heaven can contain me.
But the heart of my believing servant can contain me. Mosiani ardiwala samayawasiani kalba abdi al-mumin. And the variation about the brokenhearted, al-Qulub al-Mukassira, is also so beautiful.
It just stops you in your tracks, doesn't it? If God, who is limitless, Gator Motanahi, can reside in the heart.
Then the heart itself must have a kind of limitlessness. Deli Ensan Gari Matanahist. It has an infinite capacity.
And yet we treat it, well, Dr. Dinani said we treat it as insignificant. Hakir midunum.
Yes. And we trade it away for trivial things. Bi samandi bakmatanazel mifarushim. Sell this priceless jewel for almost nothing. He called it an eternal loss, Kuzrani Abadi, to trade the limitless heart for fleeting desires.
He used that Ferdowsi poem, didn't he?
Yeah.
About putting a jewel on a donkey.
Exactly. The foolishness of misplacing value. It's a perfect parallel for how we can devalue our own hearts.
So the path to unveiling, this whole process, it comes back to that service to the cup of Jamshid, Kedmade Jame Jahan-Nama Kurdan.
It does. Purifying the heart, step by step. Cleansing it from everything that isn't the divine truth. Gare hak da barak wa ta'ala. Preparing the house, rastane akane barai amadane hakikat. Getting it ready for truth to arrive.
It reminds me of that saying of the prophet about perceiving the unseen, the gaib, how it depends on guarding your tongue and heart so they don't become grazing grounds for Satan, chargi shaitan nash.
Precisely. Protect the space, keep it pure. Then it becomes receptive to divine insights. The unseen becomes seen.
Okay, shifting slightly, Dr. Dinani also talked about interpreting other figures in Hafez, like the Cupbearer Saqi and the physician of love, Tabib-e. Sometimes the cup itself is seen as the wise elder, the peer.
Yes, and the logic there is that the peer, the spiritually realized guide, has a purified heart. Their perfection is in their heart, not their age. The pure heart is the world-reflecting cup.
Makes sense. And the physician of love, Messiah like Tabib-e Masiha-dam, that's basically the same figure, the realized being.
Essentially, yes. Synonymous with the peer in terms of spiritual attainment. This physician is compassionate, mashfek, deeply caring.
But there's a catch.
There is. As Hafez puts it, Chodar dar tanabinad kera dava bokanad. If the physician sees no sickness, no pain in you, how can they prescribe a cure?
You have to recognize you need help first.
You have to feel the spiritual pain, the dardi manavi, acknowledge the inner ailment. That's the starting point for healing. Self-awareness again.
Which leads perfectly into that final piece of advice Hafez gives in the couplet. Tu bakodeye kor andas kor o dilko star ke garam aganakonad modai koda bokonad.
Entrust your affairs to God and be content. For if the claimant shows no mercy, God will.
Entrusting your affairs, vagazar kardane karbe koda. This sounds like trust, reliance, tawakkul.
Exactly. Dr. Larijani explained it stems from knowledge, marifat, and leads to contentment, delkoshtar. It is tawakkul. But it's crucial to understand what real tawakkul means.
It's not passive, right? Not just sitting back.
Absolutely not. That's a common misunderstanding. True tawakkul means you do everything in your power, fulfill your responsibilities diligently.
Like the Bedouin with the camel.
Precisely the famous story, Iqwal Tama Tawakkul. First, tie your camel securely, Then put your trust in God. Do your part and trust God with the outcome. Active effort plus faith.
Then Hafez expresses that weariness, but also hope. Zebakte kofte malulam bovadke bidari, bivakte fatehi sobyekto bokanad.
I am weary from my sleeping fortune. Perhaps an awakening prayer at dawn may avail. That weariness, Maludam, is so relatable.
And the hope placed in that early morning prayer, doi sogahi, vake fatehi sub, like a special time for connection, for seeking help.
Yes, a recognition of the potential power and sincere supplication at that time.
And then finally, the closing lines. Bisukt Hafez bai bizulfiyer nabord magar dalalat in dalatash saba bukanad.
Hafez is burnt, yet has not caught the scent of the beloved stress, unless the breeze of Saba brings news of this fortune.
Such intense imagery. Burning in separation Farak.
Yes, besukt. And not perceiving the scent by Zulfair Arnabord. The tress, Zulfair, often symbolizes multiplicity, the world's complexities, maybe even divine attributes. And the scent bu is the essence, the spiritual reality.
So he's yearning, burning, but hasn't quite grasped the essence.
Not yet. But then hope comes with the breeze of Saba Nasime Saba, traditionally the messenger of love.
But mystically.
Mystically, it's divine inspiration, grace, anafayalahea, a peke batenia, the nasimehak, a subtle wind from God that might just bring the scent, the realization.
Like Prophet Jacob smelling Joseph's shirt from miles away. Dr. Dinani mentioned that.
Exactly. That spiritual olfaction, perceiving what the physical senses can't. It's a beautiful, hopeful ending, the possibility of grace arriving unexpectedly.
So the learner, wrapping this up, this deep dive, thanks to your sharing of Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani's talks, has really shone a light on Hafez's cup of Jamshid. It's all about the heart.
Yes, the crucial need to purify it, to serve this inner cup, removing veils, worldly ones, even maybe heavenly ones, to gain real insight.
And it seems the path involves, well, constant effort, that inner service, but also that deep trust, that tawakkul.
It's a blend, isn't it? Active purification and ultimate reliance on the divine. Hafez weaves it all together through this single powerful image of the heart cup. It really shows the potential within us.
So maybe a final thought for you, the learner. What kinds of impurities, maybe subtle ones, might be clouding your own cup of Jamshid? What kind of inner service feels needed right now to start lifting those veils? And how can you practice that active trust, that tawakkul, in the unfolding of your own journey? Hafez, especially through these discussions, invites us constantly to look within, to see the immense sacred potentials sitting right there in our own hearts.
And maybe the ultimate question is, are we truly willing to do the work? To polish that inner mirror, however challenging it might seem, so it can finally reflect the truth and beauty it was made to reflect.